Pokemon Champions can feel overwhelming at first, but doubles battles, while difficult to master, are actually not so bad to learn and are so fun. What's up everybody, my name is Marshyy and welcome to my beginner's guide to doubles battles in competitive Pokemon, aka VGC. So what is this VGC thing you speak of? It simply stands for Video Game Championships. At the official Pokemon tournaments, there's the TCG, which is the trading card game, and then the VGC, which is simply the Pokemon battles. VGC battles are where you and your opponent each throw out 2 Pokemon at a time and are a little bit more complicated than maybe what you grew up doing, clicking the super effective move over and over in the single battle of the mainline story games of Pokemon. So let's waste no time and break it down. So in VGC, you have a team of 6 Pokemon, but only 4 of them come to battle. We assemble our team of 6 Pokemon here. On my channel, I have lots of these teams that I build myself. Team building is one of my absolute favorite parts of VGC and Pokemon in general. So if you would like to use any of my teams, I encourage you to watch any of the videos on my channel or simply copy in this replica code at the top of the screen. You will have to have these Pokemon yourself through either recruiting them through the recruit system or trading in Pokemon Home. So it does work differently in Pokemon Champions than in the past with rental codes. They are now replica codes. But on this screen here, you can see all of my moves that each Pokemon has, my attacks, all of their abilities. Right under Charizard, it says Blaze. Under Incineroar, it says Intimidate. And then the items under that, the Citrus Berry on Incineroar. And then on this next screen here, you can see how the Pokemon are trained, or the EVs and the natures that they have, which thank the Lord Pokemon Champions made building a team and training them so easy and intuitive. I love it. So what the heck is an EV? It stands for effort value. There used to be EVs and IVs. There's no IVs anymore, so all you have to worry about is EVs, which is just how you train your Pokemon. For example, let's look at our Charizard in the top left here. He has some investment into his HP stat, his attack stat, and his speed stat. And then you can see his nature is adamant because his attack is boosted and his special attack is lowered. And now some of you may say, why is Charizard a physical attacker and not a special attacker? If you are not a brand new beginner, that's because there is 2 different mega forms of Charizard. This one is a Charizard X, which turns into a physical attacking fire and dragon type, and he looks sick. So maybe even the concept of special attack versus physical attack is new to you. Basically, to keep it simple, Pokemon have different stats. No 2 Pokemon are the same. Some Pokemon are just better than others. That's just kind of the way it is. But yeah, for example, if you look at my Milotic, it is extremely weak as a physical attacker, so you will always build it to be a special attacker because its base special attack has 120, its base physical attack is 72, for example. So zooming back out, let's do a brief explanation of why we put these 6 Pokemon together on a team. What is the synergy amongst these Pokemon? And then let's do battle. I will be doing a full in-depth team building guide in the video, I believe right after this video, so I'm not going to spend way too much time right now on team building, but basically the first step to understanding how VGC battles work is coming prepared with a decent team, right? So of course you can ignore this part and just use a replica code from any of your favorite content creators or any tournament results. And I do recommend doing that as a beginner and starting with a good team rather than trying to build something totally from scratch when it's your first time battling. But I do believe it's very important to briefly cover team building in this video and just explain why we're doing what we're doing with this team. And then we'll explain when we go into battle how we choose our 4 out of the 6. With this team, basically we have a very offensive team centered around our speed control with Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl has a move called Tailwind, gives the user's side Tailwind status for 4 turns. Thank you. What does it actually do? It doubles both of your Pokemon speeds for 4 turns while this Tailwind is set up. So we want to go fast and hit hard with our Charizard. Our mega of choice is the Mega Charizard X on this team, and he does a lot of damage. So the strategy is quite simple, right? We start with Tailwind and then we go fast and we hit hard with Pokemon like Mega Charizard X and then Sneasler, who is very fast. We also have Incineroar if we need to intimidate our opponents and be real scary. When the Pokemon enters battle, it lowers the attack stats of our opponent's Pokemon by 1 stage. So there are multiple ways to win, right? You can make your opponents weaker or you can just hit harder yourself. yourself. And then with these two Pokemon, you'll notice a move called Fake Out. It is incredibly important to understand what Fake Out does if you are a beginner. Fake Out makes the target flinch, meaning they can't move, and it can only be used on the first turn of a Pokemon entering the battle. So luckily in this game for beginners, they made it to where you literally can't click the move if it's your second turn. So when we send in Incineroar, we will be faking out so one of our opponent's Pokemon can attack, and it's just all about mitigating the damage you're receiving. The other most important move, and the single most important move in Pokemon doubles battles, is Protect. Protect lets you block any incoming attack, and you can only do it once. You can try to do it twice, but and you can try to do it 3 times if you want to in a row, but most times you're only clicking Protect once, and then if you do go for a second Protect in a row, this move's chance of success becomes 1/3 of what it was before. Protect is vitally important because there are 2 Pokemon on the field at a time, and choosing which one you target into is so important, and sometimes you need to block the attack from one Pokemon and then target that Pokemon with your other guy. So the mind games of Protect are certainly a vital part of a VGC battle. So yeah, and then lastly for this team, we're not going to go into crazy in-depth of team building, but we do have a Milotic because our Charizard is our most important guy and he's a physical attacker. So he is prone to people like Incineroar with the ability Intimidate because they lower our damage output by lowering our attack stat. So we try to counter that by bringing a Milotic on our team who has the ability Competitive, and if an Incineroar comes in while a Milotic's sitting on the floor, then instead of Milotic getting its attack lowered by 1 stage, it boosts its special attack by 2 stages. There's also a similar ability called Defiant, which you will see on Pokemon like King Gambit that does so for the attack stat. So quick beginner tip there for you: if you see your opponent has a King Gambit or a Milotic on their team, don't lead your Incineroar or whoever on your team has Intimidate. All right, let's wrap up there for the team building section. Basically, our goal is go fast and protect our beautiful dragon and do lots of fiery damage. All right, let's get right to the battling. So this screen right here is the most important screen in VGC. It's one of the most important things in double battles is figuring out which of your 6 to bring. You cannot bring all 6 guys, you can only bring 4. So kind of the first thing you want to look at is what is my opponent up to. He has what looks like also a pretty fast like Water Spout Mega Blastoise team. So I am interested in kind of matching speed control here, or maybe even Trick Rooming with Sinistcha, which we will go into Trick Room in a different video. I mean, I have a full in-depth Trick Room guide on my channel, so just ignore that for now. But let's keep it simple and go Tailwind and then bring our Sneasler. Now let's just keep it simple and go Aerodactyl Charizard. And then we're gonna go Sinistcha is not bad here. And maybe just Incineroar. So I should do a much better job explaining this, and I will do so right now. So we see he has a fellow Aerodactyl, so we want to match speed control. And as you can see, my sort of wheels turning in my head there. Ooh, and I am on a 5-win streak. Let's hope we don't blow this here for the video. But basically, the whole thing is like, I'm looking at first speed. And he wants to go fast, and I want to go fast, so I'm going to have to match his Tailwind. So that's my first choice, is I'm going to bring Aerodactyl. Now, I think clicking Tailwind is fine. He brings the Garchomp because he's used to seeing Charizard Y, but I am a Charizard X. So I kind of don't mind being really aggressive here, hitting Mega and then just Dragon Claw. So basically, you throw your 2 Pokemon out. Let's take a step back. It is hard to explain while trying to not throw the battle. Obviously, there's lots of learning, but basically the key theme for this turn is we just want to match the speed control. We're going fast with Tailwind. Controlling who goes first is like most important. And there we go first. And that is a good example of why speed control is really important. We get the 1-hit knockout on his Garchomp. And so what does he do? This matches the speed control. But I think the old game of Charizard X versus Charizard Y, I don't think he understood that we were a Mega Charizard X there. So that's an example of where you learn, right? There's just so much learning to this game, which is why I love it. My favorite thing ever. Here, I think we can just, because we've matched the speed control and his only threat is Aerodactyl, we can live a Rock Slide. We're not 4 times weak to Rock Slide, excuse me, like Charizard Y is. So we can just keep on Dragon Clawing, keep on Rock Sliding, and we don't have a care in the world. He does protect the family of mice there. So there is the example of Protect coming in. Now his Aerodactyl went first there simply because of a speed tie. We basically have the exact, okay, and we flinch. The flinch is actually really annoying there. The speed tie plus flinch is very annoying, and that is a very big part of VGC is, you know, a little bit of RNG and luck. So our Aerodactyl is trained to be max speed with a speed boosting nature. And so is his, which is the only way we could not get outsped there is we're speed tying. So let's play a little bit smarter here and just chill, protect, click Rock Slide, keep our big, beautiful dragon alive to roam and wreak havoc on the battlefield. And he wins the speed tie again. That is so annoying. That's just unlucky, right? Because I could have gone first either time there. It's literally just a speed tie because our Aerodactyl is built for max speed and so is his. So that is part of it if you're ever in a, you know, mirror match situation like this where it's the same Pokemon versus the same Pokemon. Now we have 2 options here. We can go into Sinistcha to just heal up our guy, which is lovely. Or we can just go for Fake Out, which I don't mind the Fake Out option. So now we've shown Protect, which is the most important move in VGC. And now the other thing that's incredibly important to understand is the whole Fake Out thing, right? So we're just going to Fake Out the mouse hold. No, we'll just keep it simple. Fake out the Rock Slide because we're weak to Rock Slide on Incineroar for the beginner video. And then we're just going to Dragon Claw the teeny tiny mouse. And he does protect the Aerodactyl. So Fake Out and the double up here. Okay, he's just double protecting. So this is a good example of what you can do to just not worry about a Fake Out turn whatsoever. You can literally just double protect if you're tired of getting, you know, playing the guessing game with Fake Out as a beginner. You can just double protect, but it does make you a little vulnerable to this next turn, which, okay, so he can set up Tailwind, and I'm sure he will. So let us just, interesting. I'm gonna Parting Shot the Aerodactyl, so he's doing like no damage, and then I'm going to click Dragon Dance. What Dragon Dance does is boost our attack and speed by 1 stage, and basically by Parting Shotting, I think he's going for Tailwind plus who knows what with the mouse. I'm not worried about the mouse. He's just trying to break my Protect with Feint. That's strange. That's why I wasn't worried about the mouse. And so now we just basically are capitalizing on his turn of doing nothing. So we'll do something on this turn. We'll Parting Shot out and we're going to heal up our Charizard while making his Aerodactyl extremely weak because he's -2 attack now. Sinistcha's ability heals our Charizard for us. So now we have totally lost speed control. And who is his last Pokemon? Blastoise? It's either Blastoise or Aegislash, which I would want to click different moves on them. I don't think it's Sylveon. So, it doesn't feel great to make a predictive kind of read here. I don't have any problem clicking the Matcha Gotcha button and just Dragon Clawing the mouse. Because we're just not threatened by damage here. Oh, the mouse does protect, smart. He just goes for a -2 Rock Slide, which, as you can see, is really not that much of a threat because we've done Incineroar things to him. We intimidated him and parting shotted him. Sinistcha flinches again. He is getting the flinches for sure. I'm gonna just keep clicking Matcha Gotcha, and then we can Dragon Claw the mouse. I just don't want to Flare Blitz and lose all my health. I think I'm gonna, on that thought, I'm gonna swap to Incineroar and just Dragon Claw the mouse. This will intimidate the Aerodactyl again if he wants to stay in to where he won't be killing my Charizard. And we can later swap back to Sinistcha and try to heal our Zard again. So one of the points you're seeing here is he is just using Faint Rock Slide again. This is not going to kill me. Unless he crits through all this, which would be bad. Okay. So we're fine. We get big damage on the mouse. And I'm just going to go for the swap right away here. And then we did, so part of VGC is reading people, right? And last time we read that he wanted to double protect the fake out turn. So technically we could just Dragon Dance here, but it feels a little greedy and unnecessary because we're already +1. So I'm just gonna cover for swap or something and then heal up. So basically the point I was trying to make is sometimes attacking is not the best move, it's switching to your other Pokemon. That's a concept that, you know, sounds extremely simple, but is important for beginners to know. Like, getting the right board state can be vitally important, which by board state, I mean, you know, which two of your Pokemon are out there versus, you know, pressuring their two Pokemon. Okay, he just gives us the Aerodactyl, and we managed to stall out his Tailwind, which is really nice because our Charizard is +1 in speed, and it is a Blastoise. Concerning. So here so Blastoise can, believe it or not, run Dark Pulse, which is a threat to our Sinistcha, but our item on our Sinistcha is a Colbur Berry, which weakens the output of a Dark type move. So I'm just going to chill. I feel like he goes for Follow Me and Water Spout here. I'm going to chill, protect the Charizard because we need his damage. And we're going to go for Matcha Gotcha on both his Pokemon here. Follow Me, Water Spout is what I am expecting. Oh my god, that's a Shell Smash. He's going to Shell Smash first. This is basically just strengthening his beautiful Gen 1 starter here. But we do get to hit him hard with a Matcha Gotcha. Holy, really hard. I guess Shell Smash lowers his special defense, that's why. Oh, do we miss the mouse? Oh, that's awkward. So what does oh my god. What does Shell Smash do? You can click X and then you can see he is now +2 in attack and special attack, -1 in defense, special defense, +2 in speed. Oof, so another Dragon Dance would have gone crazy. I don't know if I'm just faster or what. I'm going to... Oof. And I worry about just Water Spout. I'm going to try this here. I'm just going to Matcha Gotcha and I'm just going to Dragon Claw. If the Blastoise outspeeds me, I just go down, and I think it kind of is what it is. I don't think swapping here is the play, really. Let's see if I'm just totally wrong here. I think there's a chance that my Charizard can still outspeed? Yes, he can. Okay, why did he outspeed if Blastoise is +2 and Charizard is +1 speed, right? That's probably a question that I had, but beginners would definitely have. It's just because the base speed stat of Blastoise is really low. And so the base speed stat of Mega Charizard X is much higher, so even at a +1, he could outspeed. So I hope this team is helpful as a wrap up here. Again, you can get all the information on these screens here, as well as just copying in the replica code. I build lots of teams like this on my channel, so if you want to see more, please do subscribe, as I am a brand new channel, and you know, just any support, like dropping a like on this video, is much appreciated. But yeah, the world of competitive Pokemon and VGC doubles battles are, you know, a whole world of learning to master, which is why I love it so much. And I'm sure I said some things that were not beginner friendly, but I hope that you learned some good fundamentals through this guide. And please do let me know if you have other beginner tips to share or what didn't make sense to you. I'm happy to answer questions in the comments, and I just love this stuff and I love teaching this stuff. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.